Demet didn't expect to hear those words that night. Not from her. Not from the one woman whose approval could have changed everything. The sentence wasn't shouted. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't even cruel. It was quiet. Calm. And yet, it echoed louder than anything else in her life. It was one sentence from Can's mother, and she would never forget it. Everything had seemed perfect on the surface. Demet and Can had reconnected after months of silence, of separate projects, of public speculation. For the first time in a long time, they were in sync again. No scripts. No press. Just the two of them. And for a moment, it felt like the beginning of something real. Until that dinner. Can had invited her to a small family gathering. Nothing big. Just his mother, an uncle, and his younger cousin. Demet had been nervous, but excited. She had spent hours picking out her dress, calming her nerves, reminding herself that she had nothing to prove. And yet, deep down, she knew she wanted to be liked. Wanted to be accepted, not by the media, not by the fans, but by the woman who had raised the man she loved. The evening started well enough. His mother had been polite, warm even. They exchanged stories, laughed over childhood memories. Demet thought it was going well. Until they were alone in the kitchen. She had offered to help clean up. His mother followed, wiping down the counter beside her. There was a moment of silence. The kind that stretches and tightens before something breaks. And then it came. That sentence. So simple. So devastating. I just don't see you in his future. That was it. 7 words. Delivered like a whisper, like a passing breeze. But they hit like a storm. Demet froze. She turned slightly, unsure if she'd heard correctly. Can's mother didn't repeat herself. She just gave a soft, almost pitying smile and walked out of the kitchen, leaving Demet with her hands still wet from the dishes and her heart splintering silently inside her chest. She didn't say anything that night. Not to Can. Not on the car ride home. She smiled, thanked everyone, and left with grace. But inside, something had shifted. A seed of doubt planted in soil already cracked by years of scrutiny, distance, and whispered rumors. For days, she replayed the moment in her mind. What had she done wrong? Was she too loud? Too ambitious? Not enough of something, or maybe too much? Was it the way she laughed, the way she held Can's hand, the way she looked at him like he was the only person in the room? And more importantly, did he know? Did he agree? She tried to ignore it. To focus on her work. But the sentence lived inside her, a ghost whispering at the edges of every thought. I just don't see you in his future. One afternoon, she sat across from Can at their favorite cafe. He was telling her about a new role, his eyes lighting up with the same passion that made her fall for him in the first place. She watched him, nodded, smiled, but the words were stuck in her throat. And then he asked her what was wrong. She almost told him. Almost. But something stopped her. Maybe fear. Maybe pride. Or maybe she wasn't ready to know the answer to the question that haunted her, what if his mother was right? She left early that day. Said she had a meeting. But really, she just needed air. She walked the streets of Istanbul with her sunglasses on and her heart somewhere between her ribs and her stomach. That night, she lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, her phone glowing beside her. No message from Can. He hadn't followed up. Didn't ask if she got home safe. Didn't ask if she was okay. And maybe that hurt more than the sentence itself. Maybe silence was the real answer. The following week was a blur. Paparazzi. Interviews. Smiles that didn't reach her eyes. And still, Can didn't mention the dinner. Not once. Until one night, as they sat in his living room, watching a film they weren't really paying attention to, he turned to her and said, "My mother liked you, you know." She looked at him. Her heart thudded. Did she? She asked. He nodded. She said you were elegant. And that you seem grounded. She swallowed. That's not all she said. He frowned slightly. What do you mean? There it was. The opening. The moment to tell him. But again, she stayed silent. She smiled, shrugged. Nothing. Just, she was a little cold, that's all. He sighed, leaned back. That's just her. She's tough with everyone. She doesn't mean anything by it. Demet nodded. But the weight of the sentence stayed. It wasn't about tone. It was about intent. You don't say that unless you mean it. Unless you've thought about it. Unless you've already decided. The next time they were together in public, the cameras caught them walking hand in hand. Fans rejoiced. Headlines spoke of rekindled love. But only she knew that something inside her had started to dim. One sentence. That's all it had taken. One sentence to fracture something she thought was unbreakable. And yet, she loved him. Still. Always. The days that followed were quiet. Too quiet. Demet went back to filming. The set became her refuge, because fiction was easier than reality. In fiction, characters had lines. They knew when to speak, when to cry, when to fight for love. In real life? Silence screamed louder than words. Ken didn't call. Not the first day. Not the second. But on the third, just as Demet was beginning to convince herself to forget, her phone lit up with his name. Ken, I need to see you. Tonight. My place. She stared at the message, her fingers trembling slightly. She almost didn't reply. But she did. Demet, okay. When she walked into his apartment, everything looked the same. The books on the shelf. The jacket she once wore, still hung on the back of his chair. The scent of sandalwood and cinnamon still lingered. He was standing in the kitchen. 2 glasses. A bottle of red wine. His face was unreadable. Why now? She asked. He didn't answer immediately. I've spent days thinking about what to say, he confessed. But nothing seemed enough. So I'll just say it straight. He walked closer. My mother has always been afraid of me being hurt. She's seen what fame does. What love does. She didn't mean to disrespect you, she didn't need to say it, Demet cut in. But she did. Ken nodded. She said that one sentence. And I didn't stop her. That's on me. Silence again. Then he added. But what she doesn't know is. I would rather be broken by love than be whole without you. Her heart stopped. She blinked. Once. Twice. And then came the tears. They sat together, no wine, no music, just words. Real ones. Ken told her he had talked to his mother. That he told her love is not a thing to be calculated. That he would not spend his life asking for approval when what he wanted was standing right in front of him. Demet listened. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to dive back into that love with her whole heart. But something inside her hesitated. Not because she didn't love him. But because love alone may not be enough. Ken. She said one sentence. And I never forgot it. But not because I believed her. Because part of me feared she was right. Not about you. Not about us. About me. That maybe I don't know how to love without losing myself. Maybe I love too deeply, too hard. Maybe I need to learn who I am without the idea of us. But if I ever come back, know that it's not because I forgot what she said. It's because I finally knew how to answer it. Demet. A premiere. A crowd. Flashing lights. Demet steps out of the car, her hair pinned back, her eyes brighter than ever. Stronger. Not because she's over him. But because she found herself again. Piece by piece. Pain by pain. Smile by smile. Every camera turned to her as if she were the only one that mattered. But her heart wasn't racing because of the attention. It was something else. Something quieter. Something deeper. Among the people, among the flashes, she feels a familiar gaze. Unmistakable. Unshakable. She turns. Can. He's there. Standing near the entrance, a few steps back from the crowd, half in the light, half in the shadows. He hasn't changed. Or maybe he has, only in the ways she always hoped he would. More calm in his eyes. Less fire. More depth. He's watching. Not smiling. Just watching. Their eyes meet. And in that moment, the world fades. The cameras vanish. The noise melts. There is only them. They don't speak. But something passes between them. Something that says, I remember everything. Even that one sentence. The pain. The love. The silence that followed. And maybe, that's enough. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the beginning of something neither of them dared to imagine again.